2 weeks after my brother's funeral, something happened that opened my eyes to how challenging it can be to navigate grief in professional relationships. I had close friends who attended his funeral, and they began reaching out about job opportunities and resume advice soon after, because of course they knew that I ran a recruitment agency, so professionally it made perfect sense. But it made me realize how difficult it is to know when and how to return to business as usual when someone's grieving. And if you've ever wondered what to do when a colleague experiences loss, this story will give you a roadmap for showing up meaningfully during someone's most difficult moments. Hello, welcome to Boosted from Unpolished to Promoted. I'm Trina Booz, CEO of Boost Academy of Excellence. And as a former ad executive and recruitment agency CEO, I now train emerging leaders on the workplace skills that actually get you promoted. And in each episode, you'll get actionable tips to build your professional presence and advance your career. Are you ready to boost your professional game? Let's dive right in. I recently experienced this firsthand when my brother died unexpectedly at the age of 40. And what happened in the weeks following his funeral taught me everything about how we often get workplace grief completely wrong. Today, I'm sharing what I learned about the ways to support colleagues through loss, because often we get it completely wrong. And here's an uncomfortable truth, is that when grief and work intersect, most of us have no idea how to appropriately respond. And we either pretend that nothing happened, or we make it maybe about our own discomfort. And then after my brother's funeral, I witnessed the full spectrum of responses. Some people checked in regularly with genuine support, and then others never mentioned him again, perhaps worried about maybe overstepping boundaries or being unsure about if they brought it up, maybe it would be too painful for me. And what became clear was how many well-meaning colleagues were navigating uncharted territory. And professional contacts and candidates who had attended the funeral returned to normal business interactions, probably assuming that work could provide a helpful distraction, or that continuing to treat me normally was perhaps what I needed. And without clear guidance on workplace grief etiquette, they defaulted to maybe what felt the safest, which was maintaining professional boundaries and letting me signal if I needed something different. Sheryl Sandberg describes this perfectly in her book, Option B, where after losing her husband suddenly, people often avoided mentioning her loss entirely. And she explains that this avoidance made her grief feel completely invisible. And it was like she was carrying this enormous burden that others couldn't or even wouldn't acknowledge. And that's exactly how I felt. And what I really needed was for someone just to simply ask, how are you really doing today? Without sort of maybe expecting the standard, I'm fine response. And this experience taught me that the workplace can either deepen isolation during life's most difficult passages, or it can provide meaningful connection and support. And the difference is not in people's intentions, it's more in understanding how to bridge that gap between wanting to help and knowing what actually helps. After experiencing this from both sides, supporting others and needing support myself, here are the approaches that actually make a real difference. Number 1, always acknowledge the loss. The most harmful response is pretending that nothing happened. Even a simple, I've been thinking about you, helps to validate the reality of your colleague's pain. Don't let your discomfort rob them of acknowledgement. Number 2, create calendar reminders for long-term support. Now, here's something a lot of people miss. Support is most needed in the weeks or in the months following someone's death. And when everyone else has returned to normal routines, that's when people can feel the most lonely. So by setting reminders to check in at the 1 month, maybe 3 months, maybe even 1 year mark, that is a way to let them know that you've been thinking about them and that you acknowledge their grief. And number 3, balance privacy and availability, because not everybody processes grief publicly. So you want to make your support known, but respect any boundaries that you feel that they're putting up. So you could just say something like, I'm here whenever you want to talk, and equally here if you don't want to talk. Just again, acknowledging that you understand the grief and what they're going through. A year after my brother's passing, I was leading a team meeting when totally unexpectedly, all of the emotions of grief just came flooding back. And through tears, I shared with my team how I had been struggling with ongoing grief throughout that challenging year. And one of my staff members responded with genuine surprise, saying that she had not realized that I was still processing my grief. And in that vulnerable moment, I realized that they truly had no idea what I was still experiencing internally. Business had simply continued, and I never brought up my loss again. And of course, grief doesn't follow business timelines. It's something that stays with you consistently, and you never know when it's going to show up. And we spend most of our waking hours at work, and when somebody experiences loss, we have an opportunity. We can either add to their isolation through our uncertainty of how to navigate, or we can create spaces where both productivity and humanity can coexist. And most people genuinely do want to help, they just often don't know how. And there's no perfect response to a colleague's grief. There's only the willingness to be present to them and to acknowledge them and to adapt your support to what they need, even when that need changes day to day. Think about someone in your professional circle who might be struggling with some sort of loss right now, and send them a simple message. Just say something like, I've been thinking about you. How are you really doing? And, with no agenda or no follow-up request, just out of genuine care. Now, if this changed how you think about supporting colleagues through difficult times, hit that like button and subscribe for more workplace insights that help us to show up better for each other. Have you experienced workplace grief, either personally or supporting a colleague? Share what helped you to navigate these difficult waters in the comments, and your experience might help someone who's struggling right now. And if you're interested in learning more about navigating sensitive workplace situations like this, visit boostacademyofexcellence.com for details on my professional development trainings. Check out that playlist below for more content on building authentic professional relationships. With compassion, I'll see you soon.